Hello, hello, one and all. It is Badger Wild, and we're back. Fortunately, this is not my ship. I am not stranded in the middle of nowhere. I am sitting here working out of the main stage respawn pod that we have. I have obtained probably enough materials to honestly start considering a base. Now, what we've been doing is rather interesting. Let me go inside here and show you some of the upgrades. Actually, let me show you a few of the upgrades we've done so far. We have a regular basic refinery. We have an advanced assembler right here with speed modules on it. More on that later. We've got a connector now to connect up. I've been busy. I've been busy. Two solar panels to work on. We've extended our engines and added at least 1.5 times more energy to the ship. I've also got an ion thruster now. So yeah, we're doing. It's going good. All of this was basically done without a whole lot of work. I mean, we're basically surviving on just pure salvage right now. I'm literally just a scavenger. I'm a scav taking on all the stuff. Now I've thought about this already, and I've thought, do I need to mine? And looking at it, no. I'll tell you why. As I get to enforcing and getting more and more and more, it turns out hydrogen isn't that expensive. So literally, what I could do is I could build a ship with a separate hydrogen storage on it, fly it to a nearby station, hook on, drain it of all the hydrogen that's just buy as much hydrogen as I need, bring it back to base and drop it off. And we just have to keep like hydrogen and oxygen kind of built up. Anytime I get ice, I can do that. I do have ice on the ship. It's wild. Am I even talking right now? Yep, we're talking. Okay, so yeah, that's what we're doing. Now, that's all the external features I've added. Let's go in here and check out the internal ones. I want to pop this here. So I've added more buttons here. We can charge all of our batteries. I can stockpile the H2 tanks. I've added another battery bank. I know this is backwards. Don't yell at me. I didn't quite know what I was doing. I've also got a nice little storage area here with lots of food. So yeah, I've just been buying meal packs. Um, as far as ice is concerned, if I can find a place to buy ice from, I will do it. But it's not necessary for me to do that. So we are basically, I am pretty much surviving as intended. For some reason, I'm not pulling up H2. Why am I not pulling up H2 for some reason? Ah, that's what it was. I had it on stockpile. So anyway, let's continue on here. Lots of good times happening. We've got an unknown signal out here, so I'm gonna run out here real quick and grab it. But I am looking at this position here and thinking I am gonna need to start building a base. I'm gonna need some place where I can drop. We're only gonna build the base as big as we need it. We're not gonna go in here and build a gargantuan base with way too much shit. We're just gonna go ahead and build a fairly nice base. Something functional. We're not gonna go crazy big. We're trying to keep everything nice and chill. Let me go over here and grab this thing. Don't you roll away from me, you sorry thing. Come here. All right, there we go. And get anything out of this. Let's see what we get out of the box here. Some magnesium. We got some good stuff there. And that's where a lot of the now, one of the ways I'm able to maintain everything I'm doing, I've only got one cargo container and maybe a connector to make everything work. What I've been doing is I have been taking all of the stuff that I grind off, all the components, and basically disassembling them and breaking them back down to basic components. That's how this is, or breaking them down to ores. That's what we're doing. We're taking that and breaking it all down into ore. We're not sitting there mass building large quantities of stuff. I'm not mining. We haven't mined a single thing. We're not messing with drills. We're not messing with anything else. If I mess with a drill, it'll be to remove um, voxels. That'll be it. So, heading on back over here to my ship. I'm gonna come up here. I'll drop some stuff off. We're just gonna start tearing into this ship. First off, I've got to find. Come on. Yep. There we go. Now, first things first, I gotta find. This has a full battery, but I've got solar panels, so I don't think I need it. Here we've got a lot of cool tools, so we're gonna take those. I should claim the grid, because why not? Now, my big plan is to eventually reach a point. Let's hack that real quick. Give me your stuffs. Oh, we're not going to give me any stuffs. Is that how it's going to be? Alright, I'm taking all your other stuffs. So I don't know if I've gotten the device or whatnot off of this yet. We'll find out in a minute. But yeah, that's what we're doing on a nice Tuesday. I am doing everything I can right now to... Let's do this. I want to... Yes. I want to... No. Let's go to the one deal here. Go in here, small cargo container. We're going to put all the drills in here. We don't need those. We don't need those. We're going to put this welder in here. We're going to take all but one of those. Drop it off in there. And then we're going to take... Actually, no, hang on. I want to remove one of these. All right, we've got all that in there. I don't have to worry about it. And it appears that I'm about to max out my system here. So let's go to our control panels real quick. Go to our assembler. So we've got all this stuff here that is just in the way. I believe we're still on disassembling. Boom. Now I take this stuff, I disassemble it, and it will disassemble down into baseline parts. So you will be able to get a lot of parts put in here that'll compress them down into ingots, and the ingots stack inside of a cargo container better than anything else. And then we've got to go build a base, and I'm wondering where I should build a base at. There are asteroids I could build a base in. I have the moon. I can land on the moon. I can get on it. I can get off it. It's not a big deal. What I would like to know, what I'm kind of trying to figure out is, do I go to the moon? Do I not go to the moon? Do I get an asteroid? These are just questions. And they're questions I would like an answer to. But like right now, this is fast enough. I can disassemble a lot of this stuff. The ingots will stack just nice and neat. And right now I probably have, since I got off the last time, we have about 3 ships worth of components inside this ship that I have already gotten off, plus the 2 we already tore apart already. So yeah, this is working out pretty good. While I'm at it, let me just jump right up in here. I need to deposit. Where is it? Communications devices go in there inside the claw of it. There we go. That problem is solved. Now, let me go in here and look around. So we've also got a lot of this stuff. I might as well take as much of it as I can. And with all of that, we're going to be able to shove a bunch of good stuff into the ship. And I'll just keep turning it into ingots because I can still make stuff out of the ingots. I can take the ingots, I can make stuff out of it. I have a whole bunch of equipment now. So there we go. The battery is pretty worthless. I've got a lot of battery power. Let's see what happens if I tear this apart. And it drops something. What did we drop? Don't tell me. Yep, that's what I'm after here in the salvage mission. Now, as I said before, with most salvage missions, we could just grab the materials and run back, get that mission done willy-nilly. But there's not a reason to do that. And looking at this, I think I'm going to have to really modify a ship. I really, really want to make something a little more capable, I think would be a good word. So one of the good things about this ship here is it comes equipped with enough materials for a basic refinery. So we got a refinery on top of this thing. We've got glass, which I'm going to cut off here. Start turning into silicone. Like I said, we're just gonna be salvaging. And I don't know how I'm gonna build a base for that. If y'all have suggestions, please let me know. We can build a base just about anywhere. There we go. Let's check here and see how inventory is working. See, we got a whole lot of other stuff here. Look at all those goodies. Now let's go. I'd like to throw that in there. Production, and we disassemble all again, and we're going to disassemble even more. So like I said, as this works, I'm going to be able to get the last of my things I've got to get, I believe, are on the moon. So once I get all of them, I can just complete all the missions. That'll be the end of it, and we'll be done salvaging for a bit. The plan here is if I can still get off the ground afterward, which I've doubled up my hydrogen on the bottom of the ship. So that should not be an issue. If I can work that, that's another thing. I need a ship with a lot more systems involved. I need the ability to not just work, but I need the ability to work well. I need a ship specifically designed to tear into something like this and just get it all done and get it working. That's what I need. I need something besides this pod. And like I said, I can probably do other things with this. We're going to shove this in here while we're at it. But I've just been tackling these missions, just tearing into them real good. We have just about everything we need. All right, let's turn that off there. There we go. That's working out beautifully. Look at that. So we've got, we're getting all our stuff done. Like I said, I'm going to tear this ship apart. We're going to go hit another ship while we're here. We're then going to be checking out another station, which actually provides components, which is nice. Might eat some more flatbread. And actually, while we're at it, we can go into here to the one deal as I've got that going, and we're going to run on down here to, let's see, what have I got here? Throw that in there. I want to try and get this somewhat caught up. I know, people are going to sit there and gripe and go, oh no, Badger, you're kind of letting all this go away. You kind of need that stuff. Yeah, I will, but I'll have the ability to make it, so it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. What this does, like I said, ingots cost less than components do. I would really like to yank this battery, but I think what I'm going to do Since we're not having to worry about a whole lot of other things, the best thing to do with this is to build a base. I got some options for that.
Inventory full.
Is to start building a base that I can not only shove stuff into and store things, but I can actually like take the ship because now we're running into the issue of I can expand the size of this base and get somewhere, but I am going to be in a pickle of, hey, if you expand this base, you're going to have other problems. Or if what I mean is my cargo storage on the ship is going to become an issue after a while, basically. If I supply of ice, we're going to be in. I'm going to have problems making my own food. At the same time, oh, why can't I grab that? Come on, come on. Oh, well, let's grab this. Like, what I need to do is I need to be able to. I would like to be able to grow food, if at all possible. That may not be in the cards doing the salvage thing. I'll have to see how I can solve that problem. Because we can't just go out, drop a drone out. Well, I could. I could do that, but we're trying to not do that on this gameplay. We're trying to solve problems without immediately resorting to mining. Is it smart? Probably not.
Inventory
But
full.
with any luck, we'll have plenty of materials, plenty of stuff to play with. We just got to get from point A to point B right now. All right, let's check this again. Once again, we have sucked up a bunch more stuff, and I'm going to disassemble the heck out of it again. So here we go. We've got lots of things disassembling. Let that disassemble while I go ahead and put some other stuff on there. I do want these thrusters,
Inventory
because
full.
ion is helpful. But I can also cut those down and just put them in a position where, hey, guess what? I don't have to worry about the size or anything about it. Afterward, I can start upgrading either this ship or I can build a brand new ship, start a new project, which I think a new project would be awesome. Let me see here. This is the moon. One of the things I like about the moon is lower gravity. I can, to some extent, just jump on top of things and make it. That's the good part about all this. Let's take the top pieces off here that I'm going to have trouble reaching. But we've got enough iron to make a base. Now, the only
Energy
problem is
low.
I don't know what I have totally enabled here. I thought I had enabled, and I'm going to say this, and then that's going to be the first thing that happens. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to start getting attacked by freaking spiders. And I'm hoping that's not the case because I haven't bought too much ammo. Oh, there we go. Okay, update this real quick. Get my power back up. I do need a suit or something to make this work even better. It would be helpful. Marty 7442. I remember doing only salvage runs. Got so good at Hydra manning the SPRT, it actually became more challenging to mine. Hmm. So we maybe salvage is OP? Question mark. All right. Sounds like our system has given up again. Let's sort through here. fill it up real quick with some components. Let's get down here and work these other components in. All right, all those are inside. Boom, disassemble everything. Just start getting that stuff out of the way there. That's all we need to do. That's all we need to do. Oops. Let's see if I can jump from here. I'll check. Yeah, my battery's doing good. Like I said, messing with a lot of this stuff, getting it all torn apart,
Inventory full.
getting a bunch of new pieces put in there, just making everything work good. That's gonna make things go a lot smoother on this. Like I said, base of operations, we're gonna go small with it. We're not gonna go gargantuan. I'm not gonna sit in there and have like the massive base. This is something Bundy was mentioning about all the live streams. The live streams get to a point we take on a project sometimes and we go way too grand. We make it way too big. And there's nothing wrong with making a base big. But you've got to pace yourself when doing things like this.
Inventory full.
Okay, we got all that finished up. Insert a little bit more in here. And keep going. Hopefully we can get the rest of this thing all lined out real quick. Grexion, sup Badger, how's the survival going? Great. Marty, well when you tackle 3 rust fighters within 1 hour, it's not got the whole. I don't know if it gave within half an hour. Oh yeah, never actually played Rust. Heard it's great. Would love to try it sometime. I've got way too much stuff to do on these other games. Like recently, I got a demo for a new one called Iron Nest, and I'm really hoping that becomes a multiplayer game because Iron Nest is it's got all kinds of extra stuff that goes with it, and I really liked it. The little bit I've played. You're basically an artilleryman working in a giant artillery system for a government in a diesel punk style world, which is already really cool. And your job is to figure out where the enemy is based on what your spotters have told you.
Inventory full.
And then you have to take the spotter information you've been given and figure out where your targets are and try to hit them within such a degree that you don't accidentally kill your own people. And it's actually quite fun. All right, folks, that's an entire ship completely destroyed, broken down. Got another one. I have latched into my awesome little ship here. All right, let's pull this up real quick. Now, we just throw all this in here, and we tell it to disassemble it all. There we go. Now, should be able to fly on out of here. I think everything's working like it's supposed to. Unlock. Yep, she still flies, folks. Now I got to figure out. I believe the next one's that 30-kilometer zone right over there. And we're getting some speed, but we are having some. I'm going to leave that unknown signal. I don't need the parts off of it. I've got plenty of it. I need to intercept these transmissions. let's see what we can do right here. Oh, okay, wait a minute. I think I've already got this one. Is this in space? Yeah, that one's in space. I don't need that. Oh, SPRT Rust Freighter. All right, all right. I hear you. That's my bad. Okay, that's the acquisition drop off. I just smuggled goods. All right, I guess we're heading that way. Because I've got transmissions. I don't have any smuggled goods yet. All right, we'll bolt right on through here. I think I have everything. I'm not sure. We're going to check out salvage site smuggled goods. We're going to get the stuff out there, and then I'm going to take this to the new site because there is a station here on the moon that I have to drop stuff off at. By doing that, I can drop some things off. I'll have everything built up. We'll refill the hydrogen tanks. In fact, I'm just going to turn off inertial dampeners here for a bit. Just let this float for a bit. Hmm. Let me check real quick and see what I've got left. Okay, yeah. I need to smuggle goods. So we clearly haven't done that yet. We'll grab it. Then I can get the other stuff done while I'm at it. That doesn't hurt me as much. Couple pulses of the hydrogen engines and we'll be able to get up higher. So, yeah. It's obvious with the hydrogen power that I've currently got, it wouldn't be difficult to get from point to point B. If I could get myself a hydrogen tanker, I need to make sure I'm pulling away here. All right, we're outside of gravity. And we're just floating along. So there we go. With that, I could actually have a ship with a gravity generator. I could build a small one just to run around and salvage. I am going to eventually build a drone because the PAM miner does more than just mining. The PAM miner will actually produce a salvage craft of some type. And that will enable me to go out, drop off into an area, and just work my way in. Out in space, I can just bring the salvage ship over to space, activate the miner with a, and I'm going to try and do this with a broadcast controller, to where all I have to do is put the miner, or the, not the miner, the salvager, into a position with a preset projector, get it inside a box, push a button, and the frickin' salvage drone pops off and just starts salvaging. And it just takes care of business the whole time. And I don't have to do a whole lot. I can just let it do its job. But we're going to grab the smuggled goods. Do I have smuggled goods on the ship? That's what I need to know. I don't see them. So they don't exist. Which means I have to... Let me start compressing some more materials down. If I please. That is basically everything. And we're just in time to hit this salvage site over here. So now what'll happen is we will like I said, salvage this, get that going. Whole bunch of salvage missions will be done. And then it's figuring out where I'm going to put a base. And I don't know where I'm going to put one. I've got enough materials here to build a couple solar panels. I know that. I've got enough materials here to build lots of things. I'll just have to build it myself and set it up. I kind of want to make. I kind of want to be careful because building a base somewhere, I can get caught pretty badly. All right, let's see this. If this thing has what I think it'll have, it might. Okay, we're flying past that pretty good. We've got some weight now. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. All right, all right. What are we looking at here? Uh, this bad boy here might just have a hydrogen tank somewhere. Let me look, let me look, let me look. There should be, if I recall, there's a connector on this thing somewhere. There it is. Only problem is that their connector is messed up. And where's my freaking welder? All right, let's suck all that out. Go over here and open this up. Where's my welder? Oh, there's the welder. I've got the welder. Now, yes, I have taken all the parts off. Let's go to G menu. Character tools. That. Add that. And we're doing great. Leon Hignet, hey, it's your German. Where's your friend, by the way? Oh, no one's joined me on this one. Let me see what I need here. We need computers. We need lots of good stuff. Broadcast controller doesn't have any of the good stuff. Yep, there we are. Right there. Right there is exactly what we need. There's a large hydrogen tank right here. Let me run off here. Now there should be some goodies here. That'll help. Usually these things have a whole lot of components and other stuff around them. Large steel tubes. Let me see here. This should have a couple of that stuff. Now I should be able to fix this. It's also got a battery on board. So I could just seize the I could seize a whole lot of stuff up actually. Atmospheric thruster. We don't have a whole lot of computers on board. At least not yet. Let's go through here. Is that my smuggled goods? Yay or nay? Yes, it is. Gimme. Why won't you gimme? Oh, I'm maxed out. Never mind. We got to go over here and put this back in the base. Or right now. Well, yeah, in the base. All right, let's go get the smuggled goods. That's done. Well, I was looking here at some computers and stuff. There's the computers I need right here in this inset button panel right there. We'll take those. Like I said, you could end up working this to the point where, okay, we need some motors now. I think I can get some out of this giant deal. There we go. Boom! All right. Now let's take That's another problem. I've got radiation exposures I've got to worry about. All right, let's grab on here. Oh boy, it's moving now. How far off was I? Oh, I was really off. Okay, why are you not? No, it is dropping down. That's what the problem is. Gotcha. And locked in place. All right. So now what I'm going to do, there we go. Now our hydrogen tanks are filling up. We've got two of them. So I should take most of the hydrogen off of this thing. That'll be great. By the way, you want to hear a fact that pissed me off today? There's more gay, bi, trans than straight people. I doubt that. I doubt that. You got to remember, there's people that are pushing propaganda for that too. Ah, yeah, that is one of those things because it's like with one of the things that I have noticed when I look into. Oh wow, I think we just drained. Yeah, that sucker's drained out now. We sucked all the hydrogen out of that wreck. Oh, we're at 99. Awesome. Let's go ahead and turn the hydrogen back on. I should have done it, I think. Yeah. Hydrogen's back on. I'm wondering how much of this I can actually salvage. We got these things up here. Because one of the things I'm running into, I'm having trouble, and I'm going to start having trouble with this, is I'm going to have so much
Inventory
materials,
full.
it's going to be hard to keep this thing afloat after a while. Because if I'm looking at this correctly, let me check here. That is something I need to keep track of is my weight. What do we got going on here? Okay. We've got that stuff going. What about okay, our cargo container isn't lit up yet. The small cargo container it's got like 5,000 left. Disassemble all that. Let's grab everything in my, oh, it's not, what happened? We're not disassembling, not enough power. Ah, apparently. Ah, it's doing that nonsense where it says, "Oh, look, we cannot keep connected." Yes, you can. Connect right now. You better connect right now. That's something I've noticed about this ship. It starts disconnecting every so often. Here we go. Small car container. Let's just start. Yeah, so it's like 12, worth like 12,000. Let me see. don't forget all kids are non-binary. Not necessarily. Teach today make me sick going along with that. That's from Marty. Lee and Higgett, I know I'm Christian and my teachers are just forcing us to be gay at this point. Yeah, that's that's starting to backfire. Because if you're looking at like what's going on in the video game industry right now, it's starting to backfire. We finally reached a point where it's just not profitable anymore. And that was the thing everyone kept saying. Once it stops being profitable, everyone stops caring about it. And that's where we're at.
Inventory full.
You can't sit there and screw with people on a daily basis and expect them not to eventually. And now the kids are like starting to fight back against it, like we did in our when we were in school. We screwed with the teachers because it was fun. They're doing it because man, they have to. But it's kind of funny because when you start looking, every time I hear that whole, oh, there's more of this group of people, I always remember, who's this benefit? There's usually somebody out there that has an agenda.
Inventory full.
If you look at that agenda, sometimes you learn some really fascinating things. Number one, if you the old saying of like the West was like really gay because the Greeks were gay, most of that's not true. And a very basic looking, if you look at it, you
Inventory
very quickly
full.
realize, oh yeah, no, that wasn't a major thing. Then the Spartans were gay and everything else. It's like most of the stuff that you deal with the homosexuality in Greece is one person taking something in Greek and twisting it to make it sound like something
Inventory
else.
full.
For instance, yes, the Greeks had a lot of words for what love was. They also had some seriously derogatory words and derogatory stances when it came to gay people, especially gay men. It was just something that they did. You cannot sit there and convince me that there's a whole lot of homo weirdness going on over in Greece
Inventory full.
when the Greeks were sitting there, Spartans especially, were sitting there going, "Yeah, if you claim to be a gay guy, then you have less rights than a woman does." And that's how the Spartans operated. It was like, yeah, you don't have anything going on. This whole disconnecting from my freaking ship and everything is getting annoying. It's disconnected, and I'm trying to suck out all the stuff in this thing.
Inventory full.
Give me a moment here. This big old giant thruster, man, is just going to take some time to eat up.
Inventory full.
That's one big old thruster too. But I'm probably going to get him out. I'm probably getting it out.
Inventory full.
Okay, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's throw you in here. Yeah,
Inventory full.
senators lost their seats because they were considered to be homosexual in Greece. This was a common thing. When you look at the supposed evidence,
Inventory full.
it's someone taking something and really pushing it. One of my favorite ones about Greeks being queer was in one of our classes. They were
Inventory
discussing
full.
how Greek art gave away the supposed gayness of Greece. We're saying gay a lot. I'm gonna trigger the algorithm at some point in time.
Inventory full.
I'm saying this enough that I'm pretty sure the algorithm's gonna say, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna send more people to this because we think it because you're saying gay enough. We think these people need to know more about it." But anyway, one of them was there was a guy, a
Inventory full.
pot that had been painted, and the guy is coming up with a cicerus, which, if you guys know what that is, it's a kind of a curved, almost like a falcata. And as he's
Inventory
coming up,
full.
it's held at about hip level. And the author of the book said the fact that it is being
Inventory
held
full.
low and there's a whole lot of logical bull crap that you have to go through to believe this nonsense, that somehow the Greeks who were super gay, okay, This guy who was a Greek, super gay, was supposed to be going in there, and he was kind of like hiding the way he felt for the other guy, but showing him in a coded message that only the two of them would know by holding his sword low to the ground, demonstrating an erection. And I'm like, okay, hold up now. There are several things going on. One, obviously, he's probably just trying to kill the dude in front of him. He's not giving him any kind of weird vibes. Two, if you are a super gay, open to being queer society, why are you hiding it with this? You would not be doing that. You don't see that now with common society and Western society when all the gays are when you've got all the rights and everything else like that. What happens? Well, you flaunt them a little bit. God, this stupid thing has unlocked again. This is getting annoying. Let me grab this here and see if I can. Oh wow, we actually got enough production up here. That I'm starting to fill up the assembler. Let's see. Yeah, I'm running low on room, guys. We're fixing to be out of room here pretty quick. I am probably not going to be able to take very much off this. I would love to take more here, but there's stuff inside here that I think I'd probably be better off grabbing instead. So let's see. We've got. I just need rare materials and stuff. Let's see what's in this bed. Nothing in the bed. We're not going to claim the bed. Here's a cargo terminal. I think I've ripped most of everything off of here that needs to be ripped off. I do want this bulletproof glass here. But yeah, it's stupid stuff like that because when you start looking into all the gay crap, you start coming to a very interesting conclusion of, yeah, we are really trying to just stretch some nonsense to make ourselves look right. And there was way more weird stuff than that would be going on. There was way more dumb stuff they were trying to do to make all that seem like it was the way to go. Let me look here because Marty, I think there might be a timer feature on the connector itself. Yeah, I think so. Leon Hignett, I know I'm fighting back. Yeah, that's the best thing you do is just not participate in it. Kind of ironic how the Friends left is has usual claim out one side, gays are common, and out the other, gays were always persecuted. Yeah, it's amazing because if you look at the way they talk about Greek, I mean, like I said, Greek culture, you sit there and look at how they talk about it. Oh, it is both. Oh my God, we had such a gay society in Greek, and one of the reasons that they do this, and I'll explain why. When you hear it, you understand. It is a bunch of commies who don't like the fact that the West won the Cold War, and so when they got into all those colleges, they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna just ruin the West by convincing all the youth that yeah, the West has always been gay and it's not something you should be proud of." And that's ultimately where it's taken. That's ultimately what it is. LOL, prob Marty won't much involve just being gay either. Can't have rights and be oppressed at the same time. Lee, for real. Marty, take it all and build a second cargo container. A few more thrusters, F and B too. Yeah, yeah. I could build another cargo container, but I think I want to do a base and I want to do more compartmentalize it a bit more. Let me check this connector I've got here. I want to see. Well, the connector has a time limit. That has been one of the things that's been interesting now is that the
Meteor
connectors
swarm
do
inbound.
have a time limit. Let me check here. Where are you at? Here you go. Okay, it's got a system in here to disconnect every so often. Now hold up. Disconnect after one. How do I stop that from happening? Disconnect after never. There we go. There. Now it'll just stay connected forever. Modern gray. Gracium. Modern. Yeah. Like I said, it is the option of demoralizing. That's why the whole thing of never forget where you're from, that's also very important. Let's see, I'm going to take all the components for a bathroom. May have messed up here. Oh, I got some uranium. I got uranium. I got uranium. I have uranium now. That. How do I get that? Why is it not going into my dadgum, you idiots? Give me that uranium. Crap, I need all that. There we go. That's a find. All right, production. Yeah, disassemble. There we go. We're gonna empty a lot of this out. Antonio Gramsci, neo-Marxist, arguably fascist thinker, very similar to Mao. Is that brain rot? Honestly, f brain rot. No, it's how they kind of that's one of the way that when you have communists doing stuff. I had an uncle who fought against communists a lot. That was one of the things he did after Vietnam, and he was like, yeah, he watched takeovers. I can tell you right now, all the people that push this nonsense are sitting here like, oh yes, we're going to be part. They're never part of the inside group. They are losers. They are losers. They will always be losers. And when the communist takeover is done, they are not going to be in the in crowd. They're the first ones that they go deal with. Because one of the things he always talked about was he said the commies like lists. There's a reason they like lists. Because they will use people to do this to get all the stuff they want done. Then when it's all said and done, you're removed. You're no longer needed. They know exactly who you are. You were a troublemaker, and they know exactly where all the troublemakers are. I remember him sitting there talking about when the whole um when certain countries would become communist and he was in them. He said the very first thing that they did, they went and got, he said, all the professors who were standing up there saying, who were all for the communist takeover and everything else, or the socialist takeover, whatever you want to call it. He said they were the first ones to be taken out. They would be dragged out in front of the people, and they would be told, bark like a dog or die. And as soon as they got on their hands and knees, started barking like a dog so they wouldn't die, the people would sit there and go, the people that were doing it, people who were in charge, looked at the kids, everyone that was doing it said, see, this is what you were following. Look how weak and pathetic this person is. And they would completely demoralize the movement. And that's what the entire purpose of it was. That you have a bunch of morons who, like I said, a lot of these people think that they're going to be in the in crowd, and they're not. You are not in the in crowd with communism. Never works. I mean, he would talk about some of the stuff. You'd almost feel sorry for those people because the amount of degrading that would happen to them afterward because they thought, oh hey, I'm going to be part of something better, and they're not. What is this? I may have a vulture coming my way. If he gets too close, I'll just throw a piece of the ship at him. I think I'm gonna try and at least get the metal grids off this thing. At least all the metal grids, because oh good lord, that's a lot of metal. Let me look here. How's our batteries? Okay, the batteries are still recharging. I think all my batteries are actually recharged now. that. Let's see what else. Okay, we got one more thruster. I'm gonna take that other thruster out, and then that's gonna be it. Oh, there is enough for a beacon though. We'll go ahead and grab some of the beacon parts too. But yeah, when you're dealing
Inventory
with all that,
full.
you got to remember when you're dealing with that in school, I would just say this is what they're having to do to demoralize and win a war. They have to demoralize you first. And if you never get demoralized, they never win. It's the easiest way to avoid all that nonsense, the easiest way to beat it. Almost. Want to rip now? I would under normal circumstances, but I don't think I will right now. I would love to rip off part of this and make a, like I said, I think I've got all the power hooked up. I just need to, oh, this is a cryo. Oh, I'm glad I decided to keep tearing into this thing.
Inventory full.
All right, so we got some medical components. I might have enough silver to actually make a hospital room. Oh, there's some interesting stuff right here.
Inventory full.
Probably going to end up with a much bigger hydrogen tank wherever I'm going. And then I'm going to need some type of hydrogen
Inventory full.
storage, knowing how that's going to work. And then I also need an oxygen tank to store more hydrogen and stuff in. Let me look here. Yeah, we got pieces of stuff coming off. Let me look here. Oh, there's lots of things in this. Let me hook back onto that connector again. And we'll drag all that inside. There we go. Now go into inventory. I'm going to want to take all this stuff here, all the good stuff. Disassemble all that. Inventory. There's my small cargo container. Where is the... There we go. Don't tell me I don't have... Oh, wow, I don't. Well, now, we have fully stocked that up. That's not going anywhere. Let's go right here to this connector. That's not going anywhere either. Only option I got is to disassemble all this crap and just keep disassembling it until we get it all moved out of here. All right, this will take a minute. Vulture make it crash into a roid. By the way, how old are you? It's 120. Marty here. I'm 46, and the red guard was Mao's initial force for the struggle sessions. Yes, that was true. That was the way it was. My uncle actually ended up. He was basically CIA. A lot of people don't realize that he was a guy that went in there. All his entire job with the CIA was find intercept communications, which was bad because one of the countries he was in that communism took over and eventually fell off. The communists that day, the young dumb, useful idiots showed up one day outside of the home and started harassing him, telling him there was going to be that the communist revolution was finally happening, and they were like, "We know." Since you're an American, we know that you are spying for the U.S. and we're going to have you killed. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And they finally left. And he went back into his wife and said, okay, um, grab your shit because they know. He said, whether they know or not doesn't matter. The fact that they are targeting us if they come in here and catch us with all this military equipment, because they had like all kinds of communication equipment. He was intercepting communications, monitoring the situation. And so him and his wife, it was in kind of like a more desert-like country because they spent him, his wife, and kids dumped their vehicle and then took off into the deep desert. And the commies thought that because they were far enough away when they found the vehicle, they thought the desert would kill them. And they basically just ran into the desert and just hid out for about 5 days, just trekking through the desert with their equipment. When he got there, he just kind of like tossed some paperwork to a military guy at a military base. They were on a C-130 and taken out of the country. He did all sorts of stuff. Taught Was basically an aircraft pilot. Did Let me see here. He did airdrops and cargo for the U.S. military for a long time. Got done and was good enough land navigation that he went into CIA work, did a little bit of Operation Blue Book before it was Operation Blue Book. He had some fun stories about that stuff. Um, One of the stories he liked to tell us about, he said there are things that were not you could explain. There were some things you just couldn't. He said he said like if you were going to talk, he made the example. He said, like the concept of the X Files. He said, yeah, there are things you could talk about in there that with the X Files. Let me see here. Did I? How are we still doing this? Oh, we're still attached somehow. Well, we're just going to drain that battery as long as I can. Let's go back here for a moment. Okay, we've about sucked all that dry. Let's see, what else can I shove in here to make more room? Disassemble all this stuff. I don't know if I'm going to be able to disassemble everything because it's looking like I may be running out of room. Mal turned on most of them. They were arrested. I might as I might as well tell my age is 16. Oh, you got a long life left. I'm like, fuck. I turned 40 last year. Gonna turn 41 this year. It's wild because I'm sitting here. Me and my wife are sitting there because most of it is we're in pretty really really good health. We've just been doing the thing of keeping yourself healthy helps out a lot. And so I'm the minds. I'm in the the position of I'm not really hurting and feeling it old age yet. Now I've had situations already come up. I've had injuries, but then that's the thing. Today they have sort of gelled and mutated into something similar to Zionism, corporations, government, just like the shitty parts of us, gangs, mafia. The thing with the Chinese is they did capitalism. That was boomer bull crap where they got guys. They tried to get people to do capitalism, and they had this mentality of if we just get them to commit to capitalism, boys, they'll somehow forget all about communism and they will become capitalist. And they was like, nah, it's a means to an end. That's how it always works. It's a means to an end. And they decided, no, we don't we're not gonna do that. What we're gonna do, we're gonna become even more communist, but we're gonna subsidize communism with capitalism. Reality the reality of China, and this is the thing that a lot of people don't understand. China as a communist state does not survive without the capitalism that it's participating in. And that's every capitalist country it's participating in. They don't get off the ground. They're a lot of their economy, and they don't like to admit that, but a lot of their economy does not work without capitalism backing it up. Without the capitalism, without all that money coming in, supporting all the little programs and everything else. It's also kind of like the EU to an extent. The United Nations, all their stuff, they sit there. The thing that really I tell people this all the time. The thing that really irritates Americans, it's not the win that a lot of Europeans think it is by sitting there telling Americans, "Oh, we have free healthcare and you don't." That's not a win like you think it is. That is the Europeans looking at us saying, "Hey, look, we can have subsidized healthcare because we're not paying for our own defense. We're not defending our people. We're able to do all this nonsense and have all this other crap because we're not subsidizing it with our own tax dollars. We're making you do it." And the way that kind of rubs an American is you've heard, I tell people this a lot of times, like, you talk about your fair share in money. There's people that you now have a problem with the Americans going, yeah, you're not paying a fair share of blood. Because usually what that means is if a disaster breaks out, God forbid, say Russia invades the European Union or invades Europe, the country that's going to have to spill the most blood is going to be America because we've got the biggest military and we are also supporting that with the blood, sweat, and tears of the American people at the same time. That's why Americans get really peeved when they hear that. It is not a got you in the fact of, oh, yeah, they got free socialized health care and we don't. No, it's not like that. It is literally just, do you idiots not realize? And when I say that in terms of idiots, what I'm referring to is the government. I'm like, do you idiots not realize that by thumbing your nose at us, you're actually thumbing your nose at the people? That's why also a lot of Americans don't have a problem taking away money from Europe. They've dealt with this enough. And like I said, I'm just sitting out there telling everybody how it goes. Most Americans are just like, yeah, okay, we're done. We're done. You need defense? Tough cookies. Y'all should have done something about that. Okay, we're about to get everything we need here. All right, I'm gonna have a whole bunch. I'm gonna use the power on this thing. I'm trying to figure out how that thing is still just running. It has full battery power. Like I'm not even sucking energy off of it. It says here I got like 20 hours left. Let's see. They ended up with an ultra competitive cronyism, social state capitalism, as they refer to it, fascism by another name. Yeah, it is. It's the concept of we're gonna just keep taking we're gonna take your stuff and we expect you to keep subsidizing it. It's like, yeah, you can't do that forever now. As a Canadian, this come from Marty. As a Canadian, the EU is some sort of retarded. Yeah, it is. Um, like with the thing that's happening with Spain right now, you can't sit there and look at that and say, yeah, that's working out the way you want it to. No, it doesn't work like that. Here, I got everything. Yeah, we've got everything loaded up. Gotta wait for this to get done. This is the last mission I gotta run, and then I'm gonna probably fly somewhere and get something nice. Alrighty. They want further war with Russia. Boris stopped the peace deal as well, and they have no army ready to stand up to either Russia or Ukraine. Yeah, that's the whole Ukraine war crisis. That's just let Ukraine handle that with what they've got so far. Because they've kind of Russia, I think, wants to end the war because what's happened with that a lot of people don't realize is when America fights a proxy war, we're also studying how that war is going to be fought afterward. So when they put in, when they do like the whole war going in there, Russia figured this out in the second invasion of Iraq. They were really giddy for a long time. There's some documentation on it. They were real giddy about us going in there getting to work. They were like, yeah, we're going to let America go in there, fight a war, and exhaust themselves. And they thought, the U.S. is going to exhaust themselves. And what ended up happening was U.S. didn't exhaust. We didn't get exhausted. What happened was we ended up with a bunch of battle-hardened vets, and Russia was a little miffed. Oh well, yeah, the cargo container is full, so I've got to go somewhere and come up with a base. I think. All right, let's see if we can. What's happening here? Oh wait, that's right. We'll turn the batteries back on. Hey, you. Let go. There we go. All right. Now, where is my drop-off site? Let's see here. There's an acquisition drop-off on the other side. That's Arlington Station. Let's go to Arlington first. That'll probably be on the other side of the moon. Just gonna spin this around here real quick. But yeah, yeah. There is like Marty's saying here. He's talking about how they're taking the most of the damage as the aggressors. Indirect arms disparity is insane. Russia is blasting them apart. Yeah, they're hitting them hard, but the problem Russia ran into real early in the war is this is the problem that a lot of countries don't realize running a modern war is. The US has mastered this one specific thing called logistics. It is we can drop a tactical Burger King anywhere in the planet. We're the only country that can do that. And we realized real early in warfare logistics was a big thing, especially even in Napoleonic fighting. Both sides in the first Civil War, well, in the American Civil War, it was fighting on both sides. Both sides came up with some innovative concepts. For instance, utilizing a lesser material to produce the frame of a weapon. The Colt 45 or 18, I think it's 1851 single action army or navy made by the Confederates. There was also a variant of that given to the Yankees. The Yankee variation had a steel frame. The Confederate Navy was a brass frame. And the brass frame enabled them to take a lot of steel and put them into other directions. The Confederacy really pushed warfare. When you've got a side that is hurting for resources, they start inventing new ways. And they start coming up with ways of making things work a lot better. One of those is hollow cannonballs. Hollowed out cannonballs were utilized a lot more by Confederates than it was used by the Union. And they're also the reason why the Confederates got their very last kills. So I think they killed like 7 men with Confederate shot. And what happened was they took them into a Union garrison, had taken over a Confederate fort at the end of the war. All the fighting is over with. No one's now doing anything. And the Confederate general in charge gets the bright idea in the middle of winter. He's like, "No, it's getting kind of cold. I'd like to warm up my boots next to a fire." So what they normally did up north was they would take cannonballs, put them into the brick area, and because the cannonballs were so heavy, you could stack a few logs in there and light a fire. Problem: those were solid shot up north. The North had a whole lot of steel, so they used a lot of solid shot. The Confederacy did not have a lot of steel, or iron. So to make the iron go further, they hollowed out the cannonballs so they were structurally sound enough to punch into an object, but then they were given a fuse and a whole lot of powder inside of it to rip apart at a certain point. So these freaking Yanks go in there into a Confederate fort, take Confederate explosive exploding shot, and decided to make fireplaces out of it. Needless to say, 7 men got killed. I think 13 others were maimed in the process. And the Confederacy got the last laugh before it was over with. It's stupid stuff like that. You've always got dumb people that are doing dumb things. Um, the other issue that you have going in, like I said, logistics wise, that's why the Confederates built the first ironclad ship. The Virginia originally was, I think it was like a copper hull ship, had like an entire bottom made of copper, and it was thin enough that it would float, but hard enough that it was structurally sound. And so the original ship that was there got burned off, and the Confederates were like, "We need another ship," and they said, we got a whole bunch of timber and steel. Let's build a composite." It's also interesting because they used the first composite armor. The first uh, ironclad ship was a composited ship. It had two layers of iron, and between that was sandwiched a set of lightweight but durable wood. So when a cannonball hit, it would, if it, the idea was if the solid shot did go through there, it would get lodged into that wood area and that would muffle most of the blast, sending a lot of it out the back end if they fired an explosive shot. Most of the time, they're just hitting you with a whole bunch of solid shot cannonballs. Um, and the Virginia was a nightmare. The it almost broke the line because when Grant started doing the Anaconda concept, which was surround the Confederacy and slowly attrition them to death. It was the only way they could do it. And that was the only way you could do it because if you look at the United States, people don't realize this, but the southern part of the United States produces more soldiers than the northern states. They produce more soldiers than a lot of the states west. It's like a 60 to 70% disparagement in favor of the Confederacy producing more, the former Confederate states of the South producing more soldiers. There is something about that area down there. And if you look into the genetic lineage, it is every group of ass whoopers in history. It is the Celts. It is um, a lot of Viking blood. You've got a lot of Scots down in there. Now there's a big influx of Filipinos. There's even larger influx of more Asian fighting forces. A lot of Japanese are showing up in the southern states. Why? They tend to mesh well. It's not a racism thing. It's more of a there's a family thing, and I'll put this out there. There was a study done a while back where they asked a group of women in both the North and the South of the United States in those areas, would you kill for your kid? Almost every woman up north, within like, I think it's like the 80 percentile, said no, they couldn't come up with a reason to kill for their kid. Women in the southern states were like, oh yeah, we can come up with a reason. Very easily come up with a reason. There's a whole different mentality in the southern states than there is in the northern states. I am falling. Let's see, how bad was that? I entered the moon's gravity well and almost died. We almost had a very bad. This almost ended up in an interesting deal. I was just sitting here looking, and all of a sudden I looked up and was like, I have an altitude meter. Why do I have an altitude meter? Oh no. So we had to solve that problem. But yeah, it's like when you're dealing with a lot of that stuff over there, logistics wise, like I said, that's one of the things the southern states are known for. They're known for just being very warlike. And when you run a modern army like the US, you have to have a very good logistics. You have to have control over that stuff. You have to have the ability to put a tactical Burger King out there because if you don't, well, you've got other problems. You've got a lot of other problems. China has figured this out real quickly. Um, I think it was on they were talking about how they've created their idea of bringing rapid fire grenades to a battlefield was to build a sniper rifle that shot grenades, which is cool. I mean, I'm not against it, but the reason you do something like that, you bring a sniper grenade launcher to a fight, is because you can't fund enough grenades in that fight. So, yeah, you have this giant military, but you've got to logistically keep that military going. It's very hard to do. Okay, I'm having some lag here. There we go. I think, can I hook in right here? I think I can. Let's see if we can get ourselves in position here. Oh, I can't reach that. Never mind. Looks like we're going back at this point. But yeah, if you can't get that whole tactics, that tactic of logistics, and it's amazing because Sun Tzu has an entire section of the art of war just straight up dedicated to logistics. It's insane the amount of stuff when he's talking about logistics in there. He talks about and the way the and back to the Confederacy, the way they would fight a war, they would wow, somehow I am just all over the place. There we go. Locked in. Okay, let's grab the equipment out of here. And we're going to take what we got in there. Whoops. That didn't go where I wanted to go. But yeah, like I said, with logistics and everything, it's like they don't have the logistical capability to run Mark 19 grenade launchers, which you need to have. Modern war, you need to have that. Um, the thing that I'm guaranteeing is scaring Russia half to death right now is not the number of hardened troops we've got. What's scaring the crap out of them right now? Let's see. Thanks for doing the job. That's done. Now we got two more of these to finish up. Look at the available contracts here. We've got another one. Where's that? That's in space. I could mess with that, but I want to get some of this stuff offloaded. Like right here. I need to get some stuff offloaded because some of these places are far out there, and a nice little jump to these locations would solve a whole lot of problems. It's a lot of things I don't have to worry about too much. Let's look over here. What do they got in the store? Holy Bob, there's a heavy modular model freighter. I'll save these. We're going to buy. Let's see. I got all of that. Did I get any more? No. I'll take your flatbread. That's another thing. Store list was updated. Wonderful. Okay. Refresh that so I can see what's here. Apparently, I hit this just at the right time. Let's go ahead and grab everything I can get my hands on. Wonderful. Now I've got an MR20. Yeah, I will buy that. Because I need the gun. And then there is, how many of these do I need? We'll grab 40 rounds of ammunition. Let's see these other stuff. Oh, mushroom spores. I will take all those as well because I can use those. I think I've got, oh crap, vegetable seeds. Yes, yes, yes. We will take all of that stuff because at some point in time we're going to need to buy some more, get some stuff going. I've got grain seeds too. I'm going to take those as well. I think that will give me all the stuff I need. Let me check here. Now I can sell some stuff and get some money back. I would have to look at my inventory here. Let's check the cargo container here. What do we got? What do we got? I got 100K in uranium ingots are worth a little bit of money. There's reactor components, batteries, magnesium power, platinum. I really don't want to give up anything I got. I could sell some stuff though, make a little bit of cash. Yeah, no. I would, but like they're not asking for the one stuff. They're just asking for the valuable things that I've got. We won't do that. I will say this, I've got a bunch of money. I've got a bunch of equipment for yield cooler out here. Really would like a gravity generator, but yeah, there we go. And then let's go ahead and drop off all that. So now we've got, yes, I have everything. I have all the seeds that I need to start a garden and start making some frickin' food happen. Disconnect. Now here's the real kicker. Grab here, check my GPS real quick. There's that acquisition drop off. Where is it at? All right, I think the other one is Keswick Station. It's 190 something kilometers out there on the planet. That's not really good. There's the other acquisition drop off. I think that's on the other side of the moon. So we're gonna hopefully. I think I might just go the other way because I can at least recharge. We're coming kind of low and just see if the weight. I think I can keep it up in the air. I think I can keep it up. I think it'd be good. But yeah, so like when you have like a logistics campaign like that, like the American military does, a lot of people like use a lot of bombs in a fight. Yeah, we do. But by the time we get those bombs used and over with, usually the fighting is done. US gets in there and takes like, and Russia doesn't have the capability of doing this. They had a whole lot of equipment. The problem was, hmm? Oh yeah, hold up here. Ironic. Do you ever do server stuff? Can't seem to find anyone who plays consistently anymore. I am working on a server. I really am. I just I've got to I am trying to get a server done. It's something I have not done myself. Am I falling? Surely not. Am I falling? Nope. No, no, no. We're pulling out actually. I think on the moon I have enough thrust to keep this thing going. All right, acquisition drop off is going to be coming up here. We're just going to zip around the moon here real good. With the speed I'm traveling, I should be able to just kind of orbit this and get out of here. Now to be able to slingshot it real good. There we go. See if we can just slingshot our way around here. Our salvage site, smuggle goods there. There's an acquisition drop off down there at the bottom. That's what we're going to try and hit. If it works. Well, if you ever need infrastructure, I'd be happy to provide anything for a good playthrough with friends at this point. Yeah, a lot of people are moving over to SE2. I'll probably do that at some point. but that'll be after I get a better set of PC parts. On that note, if you're looking to get better PCs or trying to upgrade on PC or get on PC, one of the more expensive parts, the CPU, a good one now that will run you a lot of the high tier games, they're about $200, $300 right now. They're cheap. And that's because the companies that make them cannot supply them anymore. They don't have the demand. And so without the demand, the price goes down. All right, we should be coming up close. I don't know. I kind of think a moon base would be kind of awesome. I might consider that if I can find a crater big enough. Maybe not. We'll build it in like a salt, like in a plains area, someplace flat and nice. All right, there's the acquisition. And Stanford Munitions. This area here might be pretty good to build a little moon base on and just have like a little place to set down. I'd have to build a, let me think here. I would need oxygen above all else. We'll need oxygen generators. As long as I can get oxygen generation and a landing pad for this thing to land it and still be able to hook into it and do everything else I need to get done, yeah, it may not be that bad. But like I said, we're not doing any mining. We're not mining on this run. All right, there it is. They're currently on the dark side of the moon, which isn't too bad. Here's hoping that the closer I get, I think I have enough power. I've got hydrogen, that's for sure. And I know I've got the equipment here to build some pretty interesting stuff. I can build a nice medical bay if I ever get to that point. Got to be careful when pulling stunts like this. Let's go here. See if we can find a point. I think I've been here already. There is a spot here for either I don't have a means of, yeah, there it is, right there on the back. See, another reason why I want a customized ship. I can build it to work the way I need it to. All right, how close am I? Way off. Yeah, let's go down a little bit. And then bingo. Locked in. All right. Nice flying. I'm clear to come inside. Awesome. Let's keep that oxygen pressure right there. Okay. I think I go this way. Let's take the torch off here real quick. Now, I should have everything I need to make this little nightmare work out like it's supposed to. I do like this one room though. I want to build something like this. All right, where was Oh, a data pad. Let me snag that there. What is that one say? Let's grab some lore here. I always wanted a conflict, thought I'd be rich, but now that it's here, I can't help but feel like a monster. This has to be stopped. No, 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 no. I need ammunition. I think a munition systems work out pretty good. All right, let's do some drop offs here. This contract, I'm going to finish it up. Character inventory. There we go. That one's done. That. All right, we did pretty good there. Now let's see what they got in the store. My God, we got some goodies here. More ramen. Oh yeah. There we go. We have a lot of salt cannon shells. They got a lunar scout. I could buy a scout. They've also got a bulwark hauler, which is a small ship. It's not very big. And a snub ship, which isn't very big either. Ah, sell them. I could sell them any components that they are wanting right here. So that's not difficult there. I could do that. I don't see the reason on it. We're not going to do that. We're going to, I think here's the mess hall. Oh, they got a different set of music going on here. There's a grinder in the inset bookshelf. Let me see. Access denied. Should have guessed. Let's see what's up here. Wait, what? Okay. I didn't understand that at all. Because it said lab freezer, and I was like, wait, what? No, it's not lab freezer. Oh, hey, man. How you doing? Let's see here. What do we got here? We've got more flares. I will be taking those. Those are mine now. I do like this atrium thing. I need to have one of those. First off, we got to build a base with some modularity in mind. What are... Okay, lady, here, just you go back out here, just like so. Yeah, and there we go. Shut down the airlock real quick. Notice to Factorum. I want that. We're just checking out all their stuff right now, see if they got anything worth keeping. Doesn't seem like it. I want to see that Factorum thing there. Discarded file. There is a timetable. I understand small scale rating has been employed for the past 4 years, but this encounter with the cooperative was unacceptable and sloppy. Not only did your agents fire upon the sole cooperative years before they began to plan our assault in earnest, they were goaded into mentioning Prototech by name. Prototech is not our greatest weapon. Secrecy is. The offending parties are no longer a concern. I have personally ensured they will not be able to jeopardize our secrets again. And I will take the moment to remind all of you to act as benefits your station. Your patience will be rewarded properly, so will your impatience. Okay, so somebody kind of jumped the gun there a little bit, I guess. All right, let's go up here and get our ship and see if we can't Get out here and do some fun stuff. Let's see if we can't get on the moon. Ay, 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 ay. I'm about to fall and plummet to a very slow moving death, I would say. Whoops, wrong button. There we go. Have a smooth flight. Think I will. Now then, with all the weight and hydrogen I've currently got, if the sun's over this way, like it's stating, if I'm looking at that correctly, let me look here. Okay, the sun is traveling this direction. Let's see if we can find a nice flat surface to call home. That'll be necessary. We have all these whole and busted up places out here. I think a moon base is probably the best option I've got right now, especially the fact I am running at about 47% hydrogen left. I've got the money to refill my hydrogen tanks if I have to. There's a nice flat area right out here. I'd like to have some sunlight though. Which way are you moving, Mr. Sunshine? Oh, it's going straight down. We might actually be able to pull out some pretty cool maneuvers here. What was that on the ground I was targeting? Oh well, who cares? We have a nice little area here. Build a moon base on. That's what we're going to do. We're going to just probably start looking for a spot here. I think right about there might be the best option. Bring the ship around. We're going to be here for a while. All right. There we are. Turn that off. Open that. Ah, okay. It's a nice little spot for a flag. So we've got very little area here, bogging down my solar power. If I play this correctly, I should have a nice spot to build a base at. Already the exposure level is killing me. No, the solar radiation. All right, number 4, I need some steel plates. Also, I forgot to close this stupid thing. All right, let's see here. Assemble. We can assemble anything we want. Let me go down here. First off, I need some steel plates. Actually, what's this? Cable? Oh, that's interesting. I didn't see those. Huh. I need I need to plan this out good. Let me think here a minute. First things first. Before we do anything, let's grab a regular set of blocks. Let's grab 1, 2 light armor blocks, 3 light armor blocks, and where's a solar panel? Need a solar panel for the plan I've got coming up here. Where is it? One solar panel should do, because all it's got to do is just get power. That's it. There we go. I just need enough power to run certain things. Server rack B. I wonder if that does programmable blocks and whatnot. I don't know. We'll find out here. We will find out here. All right. I need that and that, and all components have now been successfully grabbed. Radiation exposure is like awesome. Okay, let's see. Where am I going to build this at? Somewhere. Right about here. Here. And then what I want to do, number 3 here. I want to do that, and I want to set this up here. I want to do these types of solar panels. Boom, that's going to be the roof of the building. With any luck, I can make a lot of this all work. Boom. Look at that. It's already working out good. Now, what I can do is with the new blocks that we've got going on here, am I going to do a rotor and turret and have the panels follow the sun? First things first, I don't know how much power this whole setup is going to use. So I need to build small first. I'm trying to build this in a way that isn't going to wreck me in terms of building process. Because one of the things that I can do with this is I can start building this thing, get some stowage put inside the building. I have things I can build in here that will work. And if I build it correctly, it should work out very well. I can have some things pointing onto the outside. I can make certain things work. It's just going to take a little bit of time and effort. Let's see. Number 4 here. Need to get the floor working. That's going to require. Let me see how this works here. Need to see my floor space going in here. Okay, we got floor space there. Yeah, I could set up a couple small stowage areas on each side here. Maybe work in some other blocks just to get a couple of other ideas going. Let's see what I've got available right now. Home up. What I might be better off doing Get some frickin' flooring. And then I'll connect this all up to a piping system. Let's see. I need an interior wall. Let's run over here to that. I think that'll do. Okay, let me look at this here before I start just slamming that down. Okay, let's work on what this floor is going to look like. We'll do a darker gray plastic because one of the things I like about the plastic one is this. There we go. Has a nice little panel look to it. All right, I should have more components right up here. Make two more of those. I'm gonna build something akin to an outdoor trailer park, basically, or a trailer house. Okay, all that is finished. Now for the sides of this thing.
Energy low.
Crap. Hmm. Now with this, I should be able. All right, that's working out pretty good. Like I said, just a very easy little area to hide out in. I'm gonna need a cargo container. Um, let's think here. I need a cargo container to hold everything that I've got for the base, as well as Hmm. Let's see. Do I have, what have I got in terms of windows right now? There's some cables right there. I wonder if I could use those for something. Where is the armored doors at? There should be some armored windows here. I don't see those anywhere. According to this, I've got them already. And those would be great for the sides, but where are they at? Ah, here we go. All right, let's look at these and see what we got here. I gotta do it like that. How would that work? Hmm. Now hold on. Maybe I can make this work.
Energy low.
Or if I can stretch that out the side there. And we'll add a couple more of these in. See if we can't get a few more, just kind of like a nice little sloped area going on with this thing. It should give me a little bit more room on the inside. Now, the only problem I'm going to run into is making a lot of this all work like I need it to. Let's first get the windows figured out here. See, I got this option. Mayhaps I have done this wrong.
Energy critical.
Yeah, I know. All right, let's go over here for a minute. Get myself charged back up here. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to have the batteries and set in the back. So we've got like a full battery. I'm going to have a storage area. And then the other side, we're going to have access to all of our other equipment and everything. So it's just going to take a minute. I do like the design the way it's working right here. I do, however, want to try something a little different. We'll go for this one block here. That way I can use the half block that I would love to use, and I might get to expand this a little bit more. Probably also install some lights here every so often. Let's just do the two centers. These cable runs. I wonder if that's airtight. That'd be kind of cool. Should be airtight. Yeah, I know. I work and then I start cutting things up and I get dissatisfied with it. But I got all these nice little blocks I want to use. Let's do a set of cables there and a set of cables there. Let's see about lights. Make these lights work here. Building a moon base. Currently. Nope, I didn't want that. To currently classic space engineers stuff. It's kind of cool, not gonna lie. Ah, the olden days. Like I said, personally, this is just a starter base. This is just when you need something simple that can be expanded upon. Nice little easy thing to work with. Let's grab some more steel plates. Make this big boy work. All right, we need more steel plates. Let's grab those. Production. Let's drop about 100 of them in. A lot of this is just going to take a little bit. With this solar panel up here, though, we can just turn that thing on and we can just have all kinds of fun. Now, one side is going to be production. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably work with, because really all we're going to need for the moment is is a basic assembler. I probably need to build an advanced assembler somehow. I don't know how. We'll work on that. Right now, this has no tubing or anything. I'll have to implement some tubing, probably use this section here to push off and create some more stuff, so to speak. And that'll have to go to a pipe that'll hook into an oxygen supply. And then the base just slowly expands. Ugh. Okay, production here. And I've got this weird thing going on where it's not showing up what I want it to do. There's cables. Let's do lights. Hmm. What's left on my deal here? Let's see. Oh, yeah, those are still there. All right, we got everything now. Back up here. Let's get this all figured out. Like I said, I'm hoping those cables are airtight, because if they're not, I'm gonna have trouble. Let's see now. Da 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 da. Mayhaps. Oh. I think I'm gonna put a vent over here. Hook that up to whatever on the outside. Over, and I may put, yeah. Let's see. Where is the big storage containers? Come on now. Where's the storage stuff? I bet I have it already unlocked. I'm just not looking for it hard enough.
Energy low.
I know, I know. Calm your tits. It'll be fine. Let me see here. Surely we've got this unlocked. Surely it's here. Come now. Oh no. All right, we have all this unlocked. Where is... Huh. I don't see it. Well, it's not in the dark stuff, so it's got to be here somewhere. Where'd it go? Oh, that's weird. Oh, come on. According to progression, I should have it already unlocked. Because I'm not seeing it anywhere else. What I'm looking for is those stupid little boxes,
Energy critical.
but I'm not seeing the boxes. Hmm, weird. Like, I'm not seeing them on the deal. I'm not seeing them on the whole. Yeah, here. Stuff like this. I've got them unlocked. Where the hell is it? Am I just looking in the wrong spot? There it is. How did I miss that? I am friggin' tired. I am telling you, I am friggin' tired. That is the only thing I can explain. What time is it? Yeah, it's 1:30. We're gonna try and get this done though, as quick as I can. Okay, I need two of these. All right, storage bin. Need some flatbread. One there. One there. And then I'll apply my batteries right here, right behind it. And there's a trick I'm going to use for all that. Where's my batteries at? Oh, these new batteries are going to be awesome. Let's see, how does this go in here? Like so, I think. Yeah, I think that's how they look. Nope, this is how they go in. Boom. Look at those two nice, awesome looking batteries right there. This is just power and storage right over here. And then let's see. Ugh. There's a method to the madness, folks. Trust me. 2 of those down here until I find the containers I'm looking for. Two of those. Now, what about... There we go. Build planner empty. Great. There we go. That's a whole lot of storage right there. Okay, so we've got that going. I'll have a full battery here with this fully upped and going. That's one battery. Just need the power cells for the next one. And don't worry, I'll have this all separated out before you know it. All right, there we go. All right, we've got 2 batteries running here. Fully powering up. Now I just need some window blocks. And we'll have this side of the building basically done. All right. Because you need armored windows. That looks nice. From the outside, it don't, though.
Meteor storm inbound.
All right, let's take a look at these again. We'll do that. That looks a lot better. So I have to get outside to make this thing work. Great. Now, I just need a few more panels of bulletproof glass. About Couple of them, just a little bit. There we go. Actually, the size of this, I could probably slap in. Well, no, I wouldn't have the cool look in there. Oh wait, I've got 40 of those here. Production, and there we are.
Energy low.
There, that one single solar panel should give us a lot of something to work with. Hmm. What else can I do here? Hmm. So yeah, this whole area is going to be like some kind of nice little bay or something for everything. And I've got all this hooked up. I don't think I need this anymore. I can start figuring out how the rest of this is going to go together. So now that's looking good. Okay, come on. Come on, Badger. You almost got this. Hmm. We got battery storage over here. Perhaps a GPS marker in case you go exploring. Yes, yes, I will do that. I will do that, trust me. Uh-huh. I just need to figure out how I'm gonna do other things like an airlock and things of that nature. I might need, if I'm gonna put in vents and stuff like that, it might be a good idea to cut this one floor out and replace this with just tubing or piping. There now. It's like on this side of the base, like I said, you got storage. And there's a neat way you can do storage in this game, like right here. See if I can pull it up. This is a neat little trick I learned from some of the guys in Keen. And no, I haven't had any actual contact with people at Keen. There's a triangle. That's cool. But if you do this, you can actually corridor an area off. It kind of makes it look a little different. I think we also got those new armored catwalks. Where are they at? Yeah, the new armored railings. I think I'm going to use some of those right here because I bet they look cool enough. Just need a railing. That's it. Nope. That's not going to look good at all. Hmm. Yeah, so that creates a little bit of separation there. And I think I know what I'll do here. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab one of these half windows and a door because I have to have a door anyway. Where's the door? Oh, I can tell I'm tired because I can't find nothing right now. There we are. All right, we need some girders for that. And then 3, I have this. So we can create kind of a weird lab look effect, which keeps the batteries out of harm's way. So that's working pretty good. You can corridor off areas like that all the time doing stuff like this. We're just going to go ahead and see if we got any materials or anything. Production. I'm just going to go straight in here, see if I can find half the stuff that's here. Uh, have system make all that. And then I need... Come on, you can do it. I do want to play with these new uh, sloped cockpits. I think those would be fun to mess with. But I got to get to them first. A half window. All that in here. Make some room. I need the girders at least. That'll give me what I need. Now it's feasible. There we are. Rest of the components for that are all done. There we go. Nice little self-contained battery area. Looks nice, doesn't it? You can You can see in there, but you can't see in there real good. If you catch my meaning. And then I need those catwalks completed. So let's go ahead and get those. See if I can make those all. Yee. See, now the building has some separation. And that helps. Because now you've got all kinds of stuff that'll separate out. It'll keep things from getting too crazy. Sounds like kind of an open floor plan almost. Let's see. What else can I do here? What else can I do? Got this going on here. I need a set of pipes probably under here. And I bet I probably need to just tear this out.
Inventory full.
And I'll just make the other stuff work. Let's find. What I'd love to know is how's this going to look? Let's see if I can just. I'm in the wrong thing. Yep. Yep. It is just not working today for some reason. I want to see what it looks like. Because it may not work out at all.
Energy low.
It may not look good with that grate right there. All right, let's see how she looks. Yeah, it messes with the separation that I got going on. And that's not good. What I could do, though,
Energy critical.
there's that. I could put a dual vent somewhere in the airlock that'll keep things going pretty good. And guys, I am sitting here trying my best, but I'm about to lose consciousness. I may have to quit. I hate to be like that. But we are not going to leave this thing without an antenna and a beacon, at least, and a GPS marker so we can come back and get it. The cool thing about how I'm going to do this is it's not going to need any moving parts to make it all work. We're just going to sit back and allow the system to just recharge itself. Like I said, I'm having trouble right now figuring out how I want to do this. I think what I want is we'll put a temp block right here. And then I should be able, okay, why not? What has, oh, yep, that works now. So now we have a way to access this. This will work as a conveyor underneath to this side. And then I can have a small oxygen farm out here on the back end here, just building up some stuff, as well as maybe a secondary solar panel and just not just have the roof. Nice big open area for all this. We've got our stowage here for some stuff. You see, we got cables running through. Light systems just giving you that light you need to work with all this nonsense. And we got light over here. I don't know what we're going to do with that. I may use it, I may not. All right, 10 motors. That's not bad. All right. Locks everything in. We've got a nice little assembler here. Make everything work. Hmm. That also gives me other options for a airlock. I'm thinking about it. Thinking about it. I wonder if I shouldn't have. I almost want to do the airlock coming in sideways with a corridor. Actually, no. I know how I want to do the airlock. I am going to want this. I'm going to want the probably the airlock to come up to here. No. Yeah, no. Um, let me see here. Mm, gotta try and figure this out, guys. Maybe I don't need those lights on the other side. Now the kicker comes in. I may take that bottom floor out there. And I might. And I hate doing this because I've already put this bottom section in. But I may remodel this here. Go ahead and take this bottom floor out. Going to use that. We're going to use that for piping. Now, where's our piping at? I need a pipe block. Where's our conveyors? Conveyor block. That'll give me everything I need for an airlock to get in. I can go out one more. Turn in like that. And then we can do a air compression here. And then I can build up around that and just turn this into like a triple bar area. In which I can also, I've got my assembler here. The only other thing we are probably going to need and I may cut this floor out too to make that, to accommodate that, is that with this here, I could branch over and just put another set of conveyors on the side here, which I probably desperately need to do.
Inventory full.
Let's go dump this up here. Let's go see, what did I drop on the ground? Take that out. Okay, so that's going to allow me to have a much smaller footprint. There's going to be a 3-point section here coming off. We're going to have it open with a button. Push a button, it'll decompress everything. Then a door going into here. And then have another door outside. Why the fuck is that vulture getting closer? Hopefully he falls to the planet and dies. I don't want to deal with him right now. I don't want to deal with that. It's going to be difficult. But from here, I can actually add some components on the outside here. I can actually add 3 speed modules, and that'll really help out. And then we got this nice narrow corridor going on through here, which isn't bad. I can work with. I've got light here. I could add a light panel here somewhere if I really wanted. I can spin that around. I need to see if I can grab a couple more parts for this. Now we're not going to do anything with this yet because I've got to make sure. Now, how do I want to do this door? Do I want to do the hard airlock or the regular? Let's just see what a hard airlock is going to look like. Hmm. So we have this. Can't use that door because it's not going to look right. Could go with that though. Here I am out here and I don't have the weaponry to fight that stupid vulture off if he decides to come in here. Let's go ahead and add a placement block there. Spin that around to that. There we go. Now we can remove that temp block here. I'm hungry. Let's go over here and let's grab us something to eat. There we go. Food pastry. Nice. So you got food on one side, seeds on the other. They'll just make everything work out good. And then for the interior here, let's go back to 8, I believe. Do that. Do that. I should have enough room to put in an inset light here after I run some stuff over to this. There. There. And there we are. Nice little area we can walk right into. That's our airlock getting in. Now, from there, I can add some cool stuff in here and do some really nifty things. So, one of the things I can do is I can add a light over here, and I can put down my bed right next to the door, which is perfect. Across from that, I can have a set of lockers, so that'll kind of corridor this area a bit off. So then I'll have a nice little corridored area. I can have a survival kit here hooked up. I could also have next to the survival kit, I could have a cargo container and then have some kind of half block here, something like an armory right here next to this, so that, we got a nice little armored area. I think that's how we're going to do it. Let's grab a bed. Do I have beds unlocked? Yes, I do. Nice half bed here. Then across from that, got a lab freezer here. Lockers will make things a lot easier. Now across from this, I'm going to want a weapon rack right here. We can then cut these two sections out here. That's why you frame a lot of things, folks, in this game, and don't just start welding up immediately. If you think you're probably going to have something weird happen, you may do a whole lot of cutting. There. All right, let's grab a cargo container. There we go. All right, so we're going to have a cargo terminal here. We're also going to have a survival kit, the new survival kit. It's got the thing in the middle of it. Let me look at this real close here. Yep, that's exactly where that's going. And we can plumb all this up, and now it looks like a nice little corridor inside of a ship. We got our one deal in the back here. We can add a couple of windows on the side. No real biggie there. And I can add a window on the side here and just corridor off that entire area. So now what we need to do, and then on top of that, because of the way I've got this all set up, I could also, and I think I will, because looking at it right now, oh, the sun's coming up. I'm fixing to get fried by radiation. I can right here. I could cut into both of these, come out, and connect to a large airbase out front, or make a landing pad to put the ship on. Well, like I said, that will just have to be at a later date. Let's go ahead and see if we can power some of this up. I need to get all of these. All right, build planners at capacity. Let's do this. Badger on the moon, building a very small base. See what all I can pull out of this thing
Energy
before I
low.
need. Okay, I need. This is the problem I've got here. Every time I go over here to where I should have my frickin' panel, there's nothing there. I don't need that many. Stop, 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 stop. Do 100 steel tubes here. Apparently I need another motor. Another 100 steel tubes. Small steel tubes, I think. Let's see if that doesn't help. About to get this thing done here. At least that's my hope. All right, construction components or construction components, and God knows what else.
Energy critical.
Okay, gotta build the old energy back up. But it looks like we're gonna have the entire. I've got like an entirely cool new base, and it's getting done.
Meteor storm inbound.
Let's just go ahead and just get it all. There we go. All that's done. That's another thing I just realized I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to. Gonna have to set up some type of defensive turret system. I'm gonna have to feed that ammunition somehow. Just get the vast majority of this done. There we go. All right. So I need. See how far this thing goes with what I just grabbed. Okay, the vent is going to be done. Bed might be done-ish. Okay. Let's see here. We need some displays. Okay, let's see what else we can power on up here. First door of the airlock is done. Second door to the airlock is done. Still got a lot of equipment here. Let's keep working. Bed's done. Lockers are almost done. And then survival kit. Now we're about to have everything finished right here. Light is active. Not bad. Everything's working out. Check that out. Okay, what do I need now? Let me see. What else do I need? All right. I want to say one more display. Okay, one display. That's it. And we're done with all that. Okay, two more things left, and we are basically done.
Energy low.
And I just need two more computers. There we go. Yes, 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 it's working now. Okay, so the cool part about how this is designed, not only can I add windows to each side of this to make it kind of work, I can also add the, Lord, what's the word? I can also add a small refinery to the outside of this thing to make it work and get some cool stuff out of it. Right now, I need stairs to get up in there. Oh, that's a nifty set of stairs. Oh, that's actually pretty interesting. Hmm, that's pretty good. Now what I need is
Energy critical.
to figure out how I'm going to add the rest of this on. And we're about done. This little base here will be fully operational. And I'll have actually used a whole lot of my materials to get here. What I might also do, let's see, what about a refinery? A small one, because I want to be able to, like I said, keep this within standards because I don't want to get too crazy with the design. Okay, we got everything now. There, we've got a refinery here. At least a battery's worth of stuff. Perhaps a control seat or stand. I don't know about that. I don't know if I need all that. But what I do know is I've got this going on here. I could add one more block probably. I wish I could turn this around because then I could put the basic assembler on this side. And I could probably actually put a bathroom right in here, but that's not totally going to work. Let's go ahead and finish this up because uh, let's see. I can also put a stowage area right here. I couldn't. I've got storage. I don't need any more storage for now. We'll work on storage at another time. There we go. Need some more iron. Need some more steel plates. We're about to get this finished. And for a base of this size, it actually looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Plus, all the little extras that we've done here are just going to make it easier to work on. Hold on. I can do that. And yeah, I think I want to do only one of those. Let's go over here and cut that out. Oh shit. I stayed outside the radiation too long. Almost died. I have to admit, though, a little more light in certain areas. This will look great once it's done. Kicker's just getting it done. All right, hop in here for a minute and just wait. Let the radiation wear off. And then I should be able to hop back out there and finish this up. Shouldn't take but a bit of welding. And then we're just going to build slowly. Build small modular areas that can be upgraded. So what I may do, instead of building a crazy amount of multiple, like just trying to build the biggest base possible, we're going to try and build this compartmentalized. And then I will run corridors to every area that I want to go to on this. It'll look nice. Sometimes, less is more. That's what we're going to try and do here. Less is more. I'm going to need some more steel plates. There we go. Just hurry on here. Work as hard as I can. Get this done. Don't mind me, folks. I'm just over here welding. There we go. Turns out all I need left is just steel plates and it's done. go. Most of the system done. It will need oxygen production. Corn pop here again. I like panel lights too much. They are PCU costly, so I end up getting rid of half of what I put in. Yeah. But what we got here, we've got a pretty nice little setup going on here. Now the battery room you'll probably suffocate in because once the oxygen runs out, the oxygen runs out. But this looks pretty nice, I will say. And I can move some of these systems around here and open up some more light. Now, in order to make this all work good, oh wait, this has to be done as well. I did not know those little staircases were built like that. All right, we'll get that cable side done there. This gives me a whole lot of openings in the back I can do a whole lot with. All right, we got like some cables hanging off the side. We got one more little deal there. Solar panel up top, just to keep everything going good. Now, the next thing I need is an oxygen tank and a H2O2 generator. First off, the oxygen tank. Probably going with this one. And then is there an oxygen farm that does this? Yeah, there's a half oxygen farm. Oh well. We'll install this instead.
Energy low.
Radiation's getting bad. Also need some food. But I had that. I'm just gonna work right here grabbing all this nonsense. Eventually I'm gonna have to build a new ship, which will really help out once I get there, but I'll have to get there first. Let's do this. Now, eventually, I will build a series of solar panels to make all this work. Oh, I put that in sideways. Come on, Badger. You're better than that. It just won't work right if I don't do it the proper way. All right, 1.8 liters. We should be getting some oxygen in here pretty quick. Let's go over here, kick open the air vent. And I have a leak. I bet it's a solar panel. I bet I have to take the entire freaking roof off, the solar panel section of the roof, and I'll have to put the solar panel outside somewhere. Oh well, we tried. It's late, and I need to get to bed, unfortunately. So we're sleeping in the ship tonight. But the little mini base is looking pretty good. Once I get the solar panel and everything figured out, I may build two of them. May build two solar panels. Let it just sit there and just really build up the power. And then I can make some modifications and some other things, make all that other stuff work. Um, as far as getting the other things done, we're gonna need probably another power area. And I'm probably also going to need scripts room just for scripts. We're gonna need a landing pad and a bunch of other stuff. We're gonna try and make this little section here work to the best of my ability. But other than that, it's looking good. The rest of it's looking good. I like the look of this. And this smaller kind of building. We've got everything we really need. We just need to start hooking up some things to it that'll work a whole lot better, which is going to have me moving back and forth. As usual, also, the radiation is also killing us as well. So we're fighting that at the same time. And then I'm also going to have to put out a turret that we can use to shoot at rocks and stuff as it comes in. But I'm also going to have to keep that thing fed with ammunition. So we're going to have to use this ship for a little bit and eventually build a better ship, a more improved ship. I have a plan for a much better ship. I do want to build some type of tanker that I can fly over here, hook up to a station, fill up like 3 tanks worth of hydrogen, and just suck that right in there. Have a couple oxygen tanks too. We can fill up. Of course, with a few of the new oxygen supply things, I think that won't be too big a deal. I think the best thing I think the thing I'd be better off doing is putting in one oxygen tank and then setting up a series of oxygen farms outside just to farm up some oxygen. And then we can start adding things. Because of the way this is designed, I can jump into the two um, conveyors I've got and start running them out and replace those doors that we've got on the front and just start remodeling the entire system to where we can have like an interconnected base we can walk through and move around, look at, see what we can do here. So interesting concepts that we've got going. The idea of building a much smaller base and building things at a small scale has forced me to do some cool stuff build wise. But like I said, we've got a leak somewhere on this base, and I am almost willing to just guarantee it is that solar panel sitting on top. I think that is the problem, and I think I need to probably remove it and do something different. But this is a very small, compact starter base, which I may yank it off and set it up as just its own individual system. So you guys can grab hold of it and you can just go from there with it. You can just build this thing out there with a projector, and then everything else will be kind of modular after that. But anyway, folks, yeah, thank you all for being here tonight. Just for letting y'all know, if you enjoyed what you saw and you liked what was happening, like seeing me trying to survive like I've been doing, be sure to remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and also hit the bell notification so you know when I'm doing this stuff. Also, if you want to help out, like I've said before on the channel, we run on Dr. Pepper here. I don't know if y'all have seen this yet. Let me pull this over here. We are running on Clang Cola. I have to buy Kang. I have to buy my own cola in the game. I have to buy cola in real life. Because if I ain't got Dr. Pepper, I just do not operate very well at all. So if you guys want to help out with the channel, you want to, you know, add a couple of things in there, help things work a little bit better. You can join the membership I have on the channel for 99 cents a month. It's not that much. You get to see all the videos I got coming out early, which I'm going to have more videos coming out next week. It's just a simple way of helping out the channel, and you guys get something out of it. It's not a whole lot of money. So anyway, like I said, it's just a simple thing. It keeps me up on Dr. Pepper money, and you guys get to see all the videos before they ever come out. Live streams, no, live streams come out scheduled. We're doing a Mech Warrior stream on Monday, and I'm gonna have two live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then have more videos on Wednesdays, or there will be a video come out on Monday, and then there will also be a video come out on Tuesday. Usually me reviewing some ships, and y'all can see some really cool stuff. Like I said, awesome things going on there. Anyway, thank you all for coming on tonight. Thank you all for watching. And as usual, I am Badger Wild, saying stay safe, stay frosty, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye for now.